Give me 40 seconds to reveal the single mistake that's destroying your chances with every woman you meet. 97% of men make this exact same error, and it's costing them everything. You think you're being polite. You think you're being respectful, but you're actually killing every spark before it even starts. The mistake? You're handing her all the power the moment you open your mouth. Machiavelli warned us 500 years ago. He said the person who asks questions becomes the servant. The person who makes statements becomes the king. Yet every single day, millions of men walk up to women and immediately surrender their throne. If you don't fix this right now, you'll keep getting the same results. Polite conversations that lead nowhere. Numbers that never text back. Dates that feel like job interviews. But if you understand what I'm about to show you, everything changes. Tonight. Here's the brutal truth most dating coaches won't tell you. Questions are conversation killers. Every time you ask, "What do you do for work?" or "Where are you from?" you're begging her to carry the conversation. You're putting yourself in the student position. She becomes the teacher. You become the interviewer. She becomes the celebrity. This flips the entire dynamic upside down. Think about it. When someone asks you a question, what happens? You have to think. You have to perform. You have to entertain them. It's work, and attraction doesn't grow through work. It grows through play. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He wrote that men judge more with their eyes than their hands. Most people see only the surface. But the rare man who can read between the lines, he's the one who captures hearts. Instead of asking questions, you make observations. You notice things. You point out what others miss. Instead of saying, "What kind of music do you like?" you notice her tapping her foot to the beat. You say, "You've got rhythm. I bet you can actually dance." That's not a question. That's a statement. It's bold. It's confident. It creates tension. She either agrees and you've complimented her, or she disagrees and you've created playful conflict. Both paths lead to attraction. The question path leads to interview mode. Every single time. If you're learning something valuable here, hit that subscribe button. I drop content like this every week that most guys will never hear. And frankly, that's their loss. But here's where it gets really interesting. Most men are terrified of being wrong. They ask safe questions because they can't be wrong about someone else's answer. But being wrong is actually powerful. When you make a bold observation and you're wrong, something magical happens. She corrects you, but she's not annoyed. She's engaged because you took a risk. You put skin in the game. You showed courage. Machiavelli said it best. Fortune favors the bold. Timid men get timid results. Bold men get memorable results. Let me give you the exact formula. Instead of asking about her job, you observe her energy level. You look like someone who's either saving lives or building something important. Instead of asking where she's from, you notice her accent or style. You've got that California confidence, but there's something East Coast in your attitude. Instead of asking what she likes to do, you observe her hands or posture. You've got artist hands. I bet you create something beautiful when no one's watching. See the difference? You're not collecting information. You're creating an experience. But here's the advanced level that separates amateurs from masters. When she responds to your observation, most men immediately ask a follow-up question. Don't do that. Make another observation. Go deeper into what you noticed. If she says, "Actually, I am an artist," don't ask, "What kind of art?" Say, "I knew it." You've got that focused intensity artists get when they're seeing something the rest of us miss. You're building on your initial read. You're showing you really see her, not just the obvious stuff everyone notices. This creates what Machiavelli called presence, the ability to command attention without demanding it. Here's what happens in her mind when you do this correctly. The rare man who can make deep observations and then really listen to the responses, he's the one who creates unforgettable conversations. He's the one she tells her friends about. He's the one who gets the real connection, not just the polite smile. So here's your challenge. Next time you talk to a woman you're attracted to, don't ask a single question for the first 5 minutes. Make observations instead. Notice what she's wearing, how she carries herself, the energy she brings to the room. Comment on what you see. Be bold, take risks, and when she responds, really listen. Then make another observation based on what she just revealed. This approach will feel uncomfortable at first. You're used to the safety of questions, but comfort zones create comfortable results, and comfortable results with women means forgettable results. If you want memorable results, you need to be memorable, and memorable men don't hide behind safe questions. They make bold observations that show they really see the woman in front of them. Your conversations will transform overnight, and so will your results. Trust me on this one. First, she thinks He's actually paying attention to me. Most guys are just waiting for their turn to talk. Second, she thinks he's confident enough to be wrong. Most guys play it so safe they're invisible. Third, she thinks he sees something special in me. Most guys treat every woman the same. This is how you stand out in a world full of interview-style conversations, but there's one more level to master. When she challenges your observation, don't back down immediately. If you say, "You seem like someone who takes risks," and she says, "Actually, I'm pretty careful," don't apologize. Smile and say, "That's exactly what someone who takes calculated risks would say." You're holding your frame. You're not being stubborn. You're being playfully persistent. This creates the tension that transforms ordinary conversations into magnetic ones. Most men collapse the moment they face any resistance. They apologize. They retreat. They start asking safe questions again. But the man who can hold tension while keeping it playful, he's the one she remembers. Machiavelli wrote that it's better to be respected than loved, if you must choose. Not because you should be mean, but because respect creates attraction, and respect comes from having a strong frame, from making bold observations, from not backing down every time someone pushes back. Before I let you go, if this approach is changing how you think about conversations, subscribe to this channel. I share strategies like this weekly that most men never learn, and the men who do learn them, they get completely different results with women. Look, here's the bottom line. Every woman you meet has heard the same 5 questions 1,000 times. What do you do? Where are you from? What are your hobbies? These questions make you forgettable before you even finish asking them. But the man who can look at her and say something she's never heard before, something that shows he actually sees her, he's the one who gets her number. He's the one who gets the second date. He's the one she thinks about when she gets home. Stop asking for permission to have an interesting conversation. Start making observations that prove you're already having one. Stop being the interviewer who needs her answers. Start being the artist who sees what others miss. Your conversations will never be the same, and neither will your results. Because here's what most men don't realize. Women can tell within the first 30 seconds whether you're going to be memorable or forgettable. It's not about your looks. It's not about your job. It's not about your car. It's about whether you see her as a real person or just another pretty face. Questions treat her like a database. You're trying to extract information. Observations treat her like a mystery. You're trying to understand her soul. Which approach do you think makes her feel more special? Here's a real example from last weekend. Guy approaches woman at coffee shop. Standard approach. "Hi, I'm Mike. What's your name? What do you do? Do you come here often?" She's polite but distracted, checking her phone, looking around. Standard responses. Different guy, same woman, later that day. He notices she's reading a book while drinking green tea. He walks up and says, "Green tea and Virginia Woolf. You're either a literature professor or someone who actually enjoys thinking." She looks up, puts down her phone, smiles. "How did you know it was Virginia Woolf from that distance?" Now they're having a real conversation. See the difference? The first guy was collecting data. The second guy was creating connection. But here's where most men mess up this approach. They make one good observation, then immediately fall back into question mode. Don't do that. Stack your observations. Build on what you notice. If she responds positively to your first observation, make another one. Go deeper. You've got that focused way of reading that makes me think you actually remember what you read. Most people just read to say they read. Now you're showing you notice patterns, not just details. This is how you create what I call observational momentum. Each observation builds on the last one. Each one shows you're really paying attention. Each one makes her more curious about what else you might notice. But here's the crucial part most guys miss. Your observations can't just be compliments in disguise. You have beautiful eyes isn't an observation. It's a compliment. You have eyes that look like you're always thinking about something interesting is an observation. Feel the difference? One is surface level. The other suggests depth. One makes you like every other guy. The other makes you memorable. And here's the advanced technique that separates good from great. Sometimes make observations that create gentle tension. You seem like someone who's used to getting what you want. This isn't an insult. It's not a compliment either. It's an observation that makes her think. Maybe she agrees, and you've shown you see her confidence. Maybe she disagrees, and now you have playful conflict to work with. Either way, you've created something more interesting than, "Where did you grow up?" Machiavelli understood that tension creates attention. Safe creates forgettable. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But what if I'm wrong? What if my observation is completely off? Perfect. Being wrong is actually powerful. When you make a bold observation and you're wrong, she gets to correct you. But she's not annoyed. She's engaged because you took a risk. You showed courage. You gave her something to respond to. Being safely right is boring. Being boldly wrong is interesting, and interesting beats boring every single time. But here's the secret that makes this approach truly powerful. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you listen to her response. When she responds to your observation, really hear what she's saying. Don't just wait for your turn to make another observation. Listen for the emotions behind her words. Listen for what she's not saying, then reflect that back to her. If she says, "Actually, I'm not confident at all," don't just say, "Oh, sorry," say, "Interesting." So you've learned to project confidence, even when you don't feel it. That's actually harder than being naturally confident. Now you're showing you heard her. You understood her. You see the complexity. This is how observations turn into real connection. Most men either make surface-level observations or ask boring questions.